So this is the brush pen that comes with it. So you fill the capsule here with water, and then you squeeze it so that the water comes through the tip of the brush. If you're not used to these, they do take some time to get used to. When I first started doing watercolors, this was pretty much all I painted with. So I think it kind of helped figure out how much water to use. All right, so I'm gonna get these wet and give it a try. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting some of this darker color here. But this is one of the things I see frustrating if you're using cheaper colors, is that there's not a lot of difference between. Let's try. I will say one thing. This is a very cheap little plastic thing that they're in. I didn't clean my brush very well, but palette that they're in is pretty cheap. I'm not super impressed with the way the paint is laying down, which I guess I shouldn't really be surprised with. I understand that you can have watercolor, you know, different quality watercolor. It really depends on the binder that they use it with. I think when you use this cheaper, you have this cheaper paint, you just don't have, yeah, it's just, there we go. It's a little bit getting the color down. It takes a little bit of water. Of course, it's a little bit harder with the water brush, but I mean, you're getting some. If you're gonna take this traveling somewhere and you didn't want to take a little piece of paper from somewhere, you didn't want to take your like really good paints, I mean, if you lost them or something, they're easily replaceable. I like that red, actually. All right, let's try. The brush is definitely losing bristles already. I appreciate that they give you two colors, but the differences between the two colors are very, very subtle. I mean, you can see it, it's just, you know, I'm being pretty picky because I want you guys to, oh, I didn't get any green that time. That was weird. I want you to see what kinds of supplies you might get. I'm trying to think about how much. So this was like $3, and the paper, I don't remember how much the paper was at Walmart. It's a big pack of like 30 sheets of paper, and it's pretty nice watercolor paper. And they had watercolor paper at Five Below also. So most of their art supplies are $5 and less, like the name of the store, but they do have, oh, look at that. Green is very similar to, oh yeah, because I got some blue and yellow together. They do have some art supplies that are more expensive, like they have a a tabletop easel thing that's like $10. I'm trying to think if there's a kit like this, similar to this, that you could get. If you know of a kit that's similar to this that you could get for, that'll be one of my things to hunt down. I know Target has a watercoloring kit. I've been curious about it. It's that Mondo brand or something like that. Well, these colors are coming out pretty nice, actually. And pretty true to the color that's in the palette, which is nice. If you think about that, like, alternatively, for about the same price, you could get like the little kid kind of palettes, like the Crayola kits, like those pan sets, that are just like a row of 12 colors, I guess. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is 12 colors, but the colors seem nicer than those kits. Maybe I'll have to try one of those kits. I haven't tried one of those for a while. I do know when I used them a couple years ago. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm off camera. There we go. I am in my classroom. I'm not an art teacher, but I use them in some of my regular ed class, and had a little watercolor session, and the kids were really frustrated that the colors that they had in the kit were not the same as the colors that they were putting down on the paper. Some of them were getting frustrated by that. So I think this is what this kind of kit might be good for. If you were going to go on a trip, like on an airplane, you didn't want to carry a heavy, like a metal tin. You didn't want something that was heavier. You know, you're trying to keep your bags light. This kit, honestly, with the water brush that fits in the whole thing, where like the Derwent kit, when you put the water brush in here, so this is my Derwent kit, and this is my brush. My water brush pen, it doesn't fit. It's you have to put this little, you have to take it apart and put this little stopper in there, which is fine. It's just a little annoying, and I would be really sad if I ruined. These got messed up a lot, but these, for only like $3, if you have a little kid who's really interested in art and you don't want to spend, you know, a ton of money on their paint set, I would say these would probably be nicer. Like I said, I'm gonna have to get a set of like the Crayola or the Prang, however you say that, kids paints, and try them. But I don't know. At first I wasn't super impressed with them. As they're drying, you know, the color's staying on that paper pretty well. I am impressed with the colors, the way they look compared to the way the colors look in the palette. And you can get a really nice dark color with the watercolor. I've been using that ink tint a lot, so I've been trying to get dark colors. So, well, let's try. I think that might be a nice alternative. Like I said, if you're traveling and you want to have watercolors with you, I mean, this is a really lightweight little set that, you know, if you lost your bags or it got broken while you were painting somewhere, or you just left it somewhere, I wouldn't think you would be super heartbroken, and it would get the job done if you're doing mostly like an inking, sketching, urban sketching, or just like a little travel journal, right? It would get the job done, and it gives you really a pretty nice selection of colors. I think it would be worth it to compare it to a set of like kids colors. I just don't have any here. I'll have to pick some up. And the price point, I would think, would be comparable. It's around $3. And then also, if you had a little kid who was really interested in art, this would be a really good set that they could use. All right, let's try to paint something now.